Hello, hello, everybody. I'm Steve Reinharz, CEO of Artificial Intelligence Technology Solutions. I have a special guest on this week's weekly video that we're going to get to in a minute, but we're going to talk about maybe the biggest news that we released this week, which was, of course, our authorized share increase from 10 billion to 12.5 billion. Everybody should know that I hate having to do an authorized share increase. Now, for many years, we get pestered with this suggestion that we're going to do a reverse split, and we may one day. And everybody knows that we've amended our corporate documents that we can't do it sooner than January 1st, 2025. Now, let's think about this for a second. We know that we're quickly narrowing this gap between expenses and revenues because we've talked about it and it's been pressed and you see it in our statements. And we know that we use the S1, which is what the common draws are used from for the AS raise that we just did, to fund that gap. So we know that we're closing this gap. So we know we're hitting operational profitability this year, or we expect to hit operational profitability this year. So my question is what can happen in January when we're profitable operationally? We don't necessarily need to fund operations through use of the S1. It'll be very interesting to see what happens to our stock and our company at that point. But the point that I really want to push is that if I could trade $67 and get 465 back, I would make that deal every day. And when I look at the dilution that we did over the prior 12 months, but I look at the corresponding increases to revenue, that's basically the ratio. 67% versus 465%. That's a good trade. So it's important that you know that we are using those funds to build this company in the realest, biggest way that we possibly can. The money's going to good use, and we're going to continue to build AITX into this company that we hope is really big and amazing. Thank you. Now, let's move on to our very special guest, Mr. Troy McKenna. Everybody, many of you already know him. You've seen him on the November 3rd investor conference. You've seen him in Rad Dog videos. You've seen him talk with me on different things in public occasions. But this is Troy McKenna, ex-FBI, 23-year special agent. Troy, let's start. We're going to talk about sales stuff, everybody, okay? But we're going to start by introducing Troy in a really good way. Can you tell us a little bit about your background?
Yeah, I mean, you touched on it. You know, I'm a Midwest kid. I was very fortunate to spend 23 years with the FBI, mainly out of the Detroit division, where I was just very, very blessed to kind of work with amazing people in the law enforcement community, from local, police departments all the way up through the highest levels of the federal government. And while there, I was able to experience things that have kind of brought me to today, right? Brought me to this sort of after government life. And it has been an amazing journey. I've had an absolute blast. And couldn't have landed in a better place than Rad, just because the culture that I was so used to for my whole career carried right over into this company. I needed to be somewhere that took what the mission was and made it personal. And that's what's happening here. Everybody that's a part of this company is all driving to the same thing. Bring safety and security, elevate, people's quality of life through having peace of mind that they have things around them that make them feel better about being at work, being at school, being wherever it is that we're applying these technologies. And this past 2.5 years has proven to be the best decision I've made, in my adult life. Wow. So I'm happy to be here.
I hope your wife's not watching.
Yeah.
But, Troy being Troy skirted the original question, of course. But I'll sum it up. I would absolutely consider, and I challenge anybody to question the following statement that I'll make, which is Troy is an absolute American hero. Not only that, he is one of the best leaders that I've ever had the pleasure to get to know and to learn from. So, Troy, it's amazing that you're here, and thank you for that.
I appreciate it.
So we know you're from the Midwest. We know you like passion. We know you like teamwork. We know you love the culture. You've since become a pillar of culture in the company.
Right? I mean, you've said it a million times. We're in the middle of this sort of pivot in history where we're beginning to see leaders in the security world, directors of security and CSOs, accept what's happening. And what's happening is we are taking mundane tasks that were traditionally being done by humans and automating them in a way that makes it more efficient, And again, like I said earlier, elevates that security and safety. And I can tell you every day I'm seeing examples of this momentum picking up where the industry, and I mean across multiple verticals, is recognizing this is the right path to modernizing safety and security, doing it efficiently.
The culture that we have in the team, I think, is really important, and I want to talk about a little bit, specifically because sales organizations are by nature a difficult organization to build and lead. You got guys and girls kind of climbing over each other in some organizations to book that job, get that lead. And that doesn't fit how we operate at RAD. I prefer to inspire passion to get the job done versus, hitting people with the stick of where's your numbers. I feel that it's better for us as humans, it's better for us for the company, it's better for productivity and output. In this particular commission plan, we have kind of a team selling commission plan is really what it is. Can you share a little bit about how that is and how you think it's going to work?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it is one of the most effective tools that you can have in place because what we're inspiring is that team approach to sales. I don't care how, aggressive your interviewing processes are. I don't, you're the way you select salespeople. The reality is this: everybody comes to the table with unique powers and tools that may be very useful in the sales process. So this type of commission structure allows team members to leverage each other's talents to get this process to the finish line. I mean, the ultimate goal is get across that the 1 yard line into the end zone so that we can do what we're really here to do, and that's deliver solutions that make customers happy. And this type of structure, this team setup, gives us that ability because like you said, there is no competition. The competition is simply, look, we have something so unique that we want to deliver to the market. And the best way to do it is for me to take team members that are good at specific things and put them in scenarios and situations where they can maximize their talent. This gives us that ability, and it's an amazing tool for me. If I get to lead the team, well, really all I really get to do is be the person that picks where somebody's skill and talent fits best and put them to work. And this is the perfect opportunity for that. So, yeah, Steve, I mean, one, we're so grateful to have this commission plan, but I'd love to know the insight that went into how it was structured and why the particular categories made sense to you as we were building this out.
Great question. And I love sharing it because I've used this plan successfully in the past, and just part of a character thing of building teams. And just for the listening audience, our commission plan for salespeople is broken into 5 or 6 different categories, right? Who opened the lead? Who's the inside coach? Who's doing the heavy lifting? Who's closing? I forget all the categories, right? But each of the sales process is a category. And the theory that I've always been partial to is that, hey, some guys are great at being designated hitter. You're not going to ask them to go throw 1,000 pitches in a day. You want them to go hit another 1,000 balls in the day before the end of the day. Same philosophy in our commission plan. Some people are great hunters, great at opening, and maybe great at closing, but may not have that mid-game of working with the client saying, hey, I don't think you need one there. I think we should go here. We should turn this feature on here. That type of consultative work. And then some other people get nervous, are great at building relationships and driving home value in a sales perspective, but maybe aren't great at picking up the phone and getting those people on the lead, or maybe aren't great at closing. So the plan is built this way so the 5 or 6 categories can go to different people. And I know that if I call, one of the other candidates to say, hey, can you handle mid-game on this, that they're going to be taken care of. I'm going to be able to go what I'm good at doing. They'll be able to go and do what they're good at doing. And of course, because we love our team and we want our team to make money, when they involve us, they get the credit. Yeah. We don't get the credit. House doesn't get credit. So that's why the plan is where it is.
Well, and I'll tell you, I love it because, I like to believe I'm pretty self-aware. So I recognize my weaknesses, right, and having the ability to pull someone in that's just stronger at a certain aspect of the process just makes life easy. And I hope that is the exact same way that the team looks at it, is bring in an asset when you need them in an area you're weak.
From what I see, it looks like that's how it is being interpreted and accepted. So
agreed.
Everybody, that's our weekly. Did we talk about sales? No, but we're probably out of time. And Troy, if I get him going on that stuff, we'll be here for another half hour. You all want to hear it. Maybe we'll share some next week. Thank you very much, everybody.